So we're going to start with, wow, this question that appears so simple, but why are we here? And a question that appears simple has a simple answer: to wake up. But wow, this answer that looks so simple really has a long trajectory and a lot to talk about. And we might think that everyone asks this question to themselves, but in reality, not everybody does. And when we don't, then we're just pretty much like sitting in the couch, dormant, there, letting just life to pass in front of us. And it happened we can see people when we say, oh, wow, what is happening to these people? They look like zombies. They look like they are like in autopilot, like they're so unconscious. And in many occasions, it happens to us too, that we just go there and just work in that state of autopilot. And I always say to people, if you're too comfortable in the couch there, then there's nothing you really need to do. And it's when life is going to challenge us, or something is going to happen, or like you're too comfortable in the couch and the bell is going to ring, or a flooding is going to come, something is going to make you move. So in order to move out of that state of dormancy, what is going to happen? Challenge is going to present in our life. And challenge comes in many different ways. Challenge can come in the way of adversities. It can come in the way of like pain or suffering, or people telling us what to do or what not to do, or even spiritual transformative experiences that will shake us hard, or a problem that we need to resolve, anything that is going to make us move out of that state of dormancy. And when this happens, many times we enter in that state of existential crisis. It's like, whoa, we're being shaken, and it's the point when we start asking questions. Otherwise, we don't need to ask for anything. Then we start asking those important questions. Why? What is happening? Why is life so hard? Why are people so mean to me? What is all this for? What am I doing here? Why am I here? For me, these questions started to knock my door when I was very, very young. I was close to 3 years old when I had a near-death experience. And after this experience, I came back with an awareness I didn't have before. And I started to have more spiritual transformative experiences, like out-of-body experiences, like communication with beings of light, like all these things that were in my radar. And I had all this awareness, and I would look at other people and think, what is going on? What is happening to these people? They don't know anything. I was pretty shocked. But what happened also is that, of course, I started to compare myself with everyone else. And through time, all these gifts and all this awareness and all this uniqueness that made what Ingrid was started to become more than a gift, started to become a burden. Why am I different from others? What am I doing here? Why is this so hard? And then what happened is that I started to feel like an alien. And I put a chameleon here because the more I started to compare myself with others, and I started to think that I was different, and that in order to fit, I have to be like them, I started to change my colors. I started to change my personality, my way of being. And the more I started to walk away from my true nature, from my authentic self, from that uniqueness that I was, the more I started to suffer. And the more challenges and difficulties were like crossing my path. And then, life became really hard. And why this happens? Because in reality, the nature that we are is balance. And at that moment, the more you walk away from that authentic self that you are, from that state of balance, then we become misaligned, and then discomfort comes. And what is that we're trying to go back to that place where I want to feel okay, I want to feel aligned. And we will talk more about this through this presentation. But the good thing about this, like I'm mentioning at the beginning, is when we are shaken, then we start looking for new answers. Okay, how can I do to solve my situation? How can I do to feel better? How can I do to just, even when we go to that place where I'm kind of resolving myself and using my experience as an example, how can I help others? So all these open new paths. And what happened is, like I was mentioning a minute ago, when we are in discomfort, when we're misaligned, then we are trying to go back to that place of feeling good, that place of like, feeling peaceful, I'm feeling calm, I'm feeling relaxed, I'm feeling like I am at home, like I am in heaven, because who doesn't want to be in heaven? But like I was mentioning, I reached a point in my life that I became so disconnected from my truth, from my authentic self, that I started to just get hit by all kind of challenges. And I was having bad relationships, and I went to live in a war zone, and I saw the atrocities of the war, and I had 2 near-death experiences, and I was robbed, and I was almost killed and murdered. Then I mean, it's like life was hitting me from every direction. I got sick, I experienced illnesses, depression. And when I was in the worst part of my experience, guys, I was like, imagine being at that place where you're so down, so depressed. I asked, what am I doing here? And you don't imagine the answer that I got. You're not going to like it, because I didn't like it either. Although it's a very beautiful answer. And the answer was to experience pure joy. Oh no, what? You have to be kidding me. At this point in my life, I want to die. I'm depressed. Life is hitting me hard. How can you tell me that I'm here to experience pure joy? Well, the universe is wrong. Oh no, definitely, this has to be a joke. The universe is joking. This is a prank. This cannot be. Or maybe I don't have a clue what joy is. And this is something really, really important. The beings of light, since very early age, started to bring all these teachings to me. And one of these teachings was, learn to ask the right questions and you will get the right answers. And sometimes we would think that it's complicated, but no, the questions can be so simple. And of course, at this moment, the question was, what is joy? It was clear that I didn't have a clue what the beings of light were talking about being joyful when I am about to die. So at that moment is when they brought me not just to remember, but to feel what I had experienced during my near death. And I had experienced that space of calmness and silence and balance and just expansion, openness, bliss, consciousness, presence. I mean, I just don't even have words to express the level of well-being I was experiencing. Wow. And they wanted me not just to remember as a thought, but to feel it. Oh, how good I felt. And then they said, look, this doesn't happen just when someone has a near-death experience. Look at all the opportunities we have every single day in our lives to experience joy. And they show me all these pointers to joy. They said joy is in every flower. Joy is like when you have this great night sleep. Oh, that feels so good. When you eat just this amazing, delicious food. Our pets, oh my God, they are so much joy, and they're like the embodiment of presence. What about our children? Oh my God, just when we take them to school, when we share with them, when we go on vacation together as a family, when we are in connection with nature. So they were showing me that the presence of joy was everywhere, even when we are in the zone, when we are in the state of being creative, playing music, painting, writing poetry, whatever we're doing, that is making us feel in that state of just well-being and connection. So this brought me to this teaching that said, if the core of who you are, which is what the beings of light were showing to me, is that of joy, love, peace, presence, that state of inner well-being, then the true question is, what am I doing to disturb that? What am I doing not to be that? And the thing is that usually we think, or this is how we've been conditioned to think, that love, joy, peace are feelings. But the beings of light said to me, no, Ingrid, those are not just feelings. Those are universal principles. Wow, what this means. And they say these principles are the glue that hold the fabric of the universe together. They are the space between. We don't know where they are. We don't know where joy or love or compassion or peace or happiness is, but they are everywhere. You cannot say, oh, they are here, they are here. They are nowhere, but they are everywhere. And that is what we could describe as God, the creator, consciousness, ultimate reality, is the eternal subject, the eternal presence. But yes, our feelings are a very important thing because they are pointers. But we have to have it clear, they're just pointers to that we have not discovered, or we forgot that we are within ourselves. But the thing is, the problem is that the love that we know, the joy that we know, all these principles that we know are conditioned. What we really know is conditional love. Since we're little, like, you give me this, I give you that. If I hug you, you hug. If I hug you, you tell me I love you, I tell you I love you. So we are conditioned. But you ask people, give me a list of the things that you most like in this life, in this world. Oh my God, the list will always go back to things like love, happiness, well-being, health. Even if people ask for money, why do you want money? To be happy, to find the love of my life, to be healthy. So at the end, everything is bringing us to these principles. Why? Because we're yearning to be what we truly are. See, we go back to that place of greatness, to the place of goodness within, to our authentic self, which is true love and true joy, that is spaciousness, that presence, that calmness. But sometimes, like we mentioned at the beginning, the only way to get there is through contrast. And this human experience is, oh my God, this is the best ground to experience contrast. Everybody can agree with this. We can only know what we want if we know what we don't want. And also, how can we go appreciating if we never have experienced the other side of the coin? Like, for me to be able to appreciate happiness, I have to experience sadness. To be able to appreciate health, I have to experience feeling unwell. And that's the place where, like, oh, I understand this other side of the experience. And then where we want to turn always to that place of balance. Because when even when the good is too much, is not that good. If this food, this cake is delicious, but I eat too much, yes, I get a stomach ache. But if I don't eat anything, then I will be starving. So again, it's always, life is bringing us to that place of balance, what is called the middle way. And life, well, as humans, like I was mentioning, is the perfect ground for that, because here, yes, we have all these tools, thoughts, emotions, sensory perception, time and space constraint, feelings, all these that we can use to experience that contrast. But there's something really interesting. The beings of light one day said to me, Ingrid, feelings are a human thing, because we can think, oh, why I have to come and experience this human experience? This is so hard. Being human is terrible. But they said to me, Ingrid, if you're just only in the spirit realm, guess what? There is no sensory perception. So having these five senses, this is incredible. These are doors to awareness. Having the possibility to feel, see, taste, having a nervous system, like all the possibility to feel pain, the possibility to feel that you want to go asleep, that you feel hungry, all these things you cannot experience in the spirit realm. And just as a side note, my mom passed last year, and one of the abilities I have is being able to communicate also with the spirits. And in this connection with my mom is incredible, because one of the things she shared with me was that the thing that she missed the most about being human was not, she loved planting things, growing flowers and planting stuff. And she said one of the most difficult or things that she missed the most was not being able to touch the dirt. So it's amazing how we take for granted the things that we can experience here as humans. And the other big thing here for us as humans is time and space, these factors. When I had my near death and other experiences, there was no time. It was complete. It was the sense that time and space did not exist. So here, the fact that we have all the stress related with the schedules, with what I'm going to do tomorrow, with the past attachment to all these, is also going to bring a lot of challenge in our life. It's going to shake us hard. And this is, again, all the ways in which we can reconnect with the truth that we are. I even asked the beings of light that question: what is the purpose of time and experience? And they told me the purpose of time and experience is to help you remember who you truly are. Wow. So having all this human experience open that door to that remembering to go back within. But now it comes the next question. Remember, why do we have to forget in the first place? Why do we forget who we truly are? Why do we have to remember anything? Why we don't just have our memory there? What is all this thing about remembering anything? It's kind of frustrating, isn't it? So to answer that question, the beings of light gave me these some incredible analogies. And they said the reason why we forget who we truly are is so simple, and is, again, and at the same time so complicated, is just because we got distracted. So they gave me the analogy of like a kaleidoscope, and say that in this case, this little bee is the source, the light of consciousness, and looking through a kaleidoscope, and in that kaleidoscope is the projection of the most beautiful images. Because guess what? Wow, that's the thing. Source is giving us the opportunity to just experience it all, is manifesting all kind of amazing things. And we get pretty distracted with all these that we're seeing. We get mesmerized and we get trapped in the outer reality. And pretty easy. Like, we say, I am not going to forget, then squirrel, and it all is gone. Now we became distracted and forgot everything. And to give you another analogy to explain how this whole thing started and how this we started and the beginning of all these, imagine trying to put all that explanation in this cartoon. So what I bring here to the picture is say that we have the sun, and say that each one of the rays of the sun that is being emanated from the sun is a soul. So say that each one of these rays is a soul, each is one of us and is represented by a vector. And because they are emanated from source, then this goes perfect with what is described at the bottom of this slide. We're made at the image and likeness of God, because we all come emerge from source. But what happened? Say that at the beginning, okay, this is source, this is my soul, represented by this vector. But say that at the beginning, I am like this little baby. So this is the other thing the beings of light said to me. Look, everything that you experience, even right now, everything can be used as a symbol. So in this case, we use the symbol of a little baby. So think that when the baby is born in this life, here now, the baby comes from the mom, the baby is here. The baby is lying on the bed and the baby is happy and the baby is being, but the baby doesn't have clue where he come or her come from. It doesn't have idea it came from the mom. It doesn't have idea of anything. It doesn't have idea of its source. It only knows that it is there and it is being. Imagine same thing with us. We came from source and we just, we're like the baby. We don't have clue. But the moment the world presents to us and we change our focus of attention because the outer reality is just amazing. I'm looking at the toy in my hands, my mom, the sound, and everybody started just presenting all these outer worlds. So we started to get conditioned. And layers of condition start building up. And guess, imagine we have all the ancestors and we have all the cultural beliefs and our religion and everything else. And we start understanding and knowing about good and bad, left and right, negative and positive, order and disorder, sickness and wellness. So imagine all these. So of course, our focus of attention gets completely shifted to the outer reality that is completely busy with so many concepts and things and projections. So guess what? Through life, then now we start being carried away until, like I mentioned at the beginning, life shakes us hard because we have these moments when we're like, we were so lost in our job, we were so lost in our life, in our role as a mother, as a teacher, as a father, as a hero, whatever it is, that we forgot to completely look within. And the challenge comes that somebody died in the family, I got a sickness, I lost my job, whatever it is that happened. Then it's when we ask, but I thought I had the idea that life was here to make me happy. And then I love this quote from Eckhart Tolle that says, no, life is not here to make us happy. Life is here to challenge us so we can find that happiness within ourselves. Because we all know the moment we start thinking that the outer reality can give us that happiness, we're going to suffer. Then life is going to guide and shakes us even hard and show us it's not out there. Go look within. And then we go back to our example of source, the soul. And if you see this vector here, when do a vector ends? So when we also ask, like, what about my soul? That's the eternity of the soul. We cannot tell when everything ends and begins. That is just the questioning of a limited mind. If we think about a point, where do a point ends and where do a point begins? Where do a vector ends? If the point is eternal and the vector starts from a point, then where is the beginning? And if a vector doesn't have end, then ask these questions of beginning and end are things that the mind cannot comprehend. But we can explain it in the way that, okay, my soul started from source, like the little baby. Boop, I was born. And then I started to experience many lives. And they say that Ingrid is just a parenthesis in the existence of my eternal soul. And then in each one of these lives, say that at the beginning, I was that little baby, didn't have clue, I came from source. And through my life experiences, I started to evolve. And this evolution started to just bring me to that place of self-discovery. And this has happened not just to us as individuals, but as a collective. This has been the evolution of humanity. If you think about what we can even remember in history, the cavemen, at the beginning, they were just trying to survive, and there was not time to or anything that brought these people yet to look within. And little by little, then the thinkers, the philosophers, the masters, the gurus, all these beings, and now all of us sitting here, that started to look within and realize, oh, I'm not just my physical reality. I'm not just this outer reality. I'm not just the projection of the kaleidoscope. And we all know this analogy about the wave and the ocean. I am not just the wave. I am not just the surface. There is a depthness in me. I am the entire ocean. Wow, I am more than I think I am. And then we start realizing that this is the journey to rediscover in a conscious manner what we are. Like we mentioned at the beginning, that these very first parentheses are just the little baby. The baby is still source, the baby is still consciousness, but it doesn't know it. So it's the journey to remember that I am and always have been consciousness, source, light. So look at how beautiful this can be. But again, what about our memory? Because we just stuck in these things. Like, why do we have to forget, and why we keep forgetting things? And this is this, guys. One thing is that we know for sure that we are conscious. All of us are here conscious, and that there is something called life that is animating this body. And guess what? Yeah, I was very clear of that. I remember when I was very young, I watched a movie in which a person had an accident, and he, in this accident, lost his memory. And that's when opened that door, another door, deep door for me, because it was like, oh, see, so if that guy lost the memory of who his family is, who he is, the memory that he's a father, the memory that he has this career, even his name, but he still exists. So is he all that? Am I all that stuff that I think I am? But if all that is gone and I am here and I exist, there has to be more. Wow, at that moment, that really knocked my door pretty hard. And I'm like, yes, I am more than all these. I'm more than my thoughts. I am more than my emotions. I am more than my conditioning and beliefs. And this is the other thing. Like all of you, all of us sitting here, we don't started like from baby and now I am the complete full aware being. No, we all have a progress. There's a progression in our development, in our rediscovering who we truly are. And again, in this analogy side, at the beginning, we were the baby, few lives we needed to go to daycare, and few lives we needed to go to kindergarten and first grade. See, so we needed all this time and these lives to start remembering. And we can even see it in little children. The little baby, I remember my son, yeah, he came to this world and it was all our conditioning that we imposed on him, all that, but he was still having his own personality. I'm like, oh my God, he has his personality. No matter what was there, it was that spark in him, and that's what we keep with us. So when we move from one life experience to the other, we only keep what we truly need, guys. The rest falls away. And the beings of light can be very funny. They said to me, Ingrid, why to keep the old wardrobe when we can have a complete new one? So imagine that you just live in a house that is falling apart, and today I give you $1 million. Are you going to carry with you the old shaggy house? No. You're going to go and move to a new one. So what you don't need is move away, and now you have a free way. This is the other thing. The beings of light said, how can you take anything new if you are already full? So imagine that you are invited to this party and to this dinner, and it's a special dinner organized for you. And you arrive to this dinner with your stomach full, you already ate. Now you cannot really enjoy this new meal. So that's what happened. All the things that we don't need will be left behind, and only the essence, what we need, we will carry. For me, starting to just ask these questions of how is that I am connected with source, and when did I become disconnected? It started to be in my path since I was very young. And first, my near-death experience, then in 2 occasions in my life, when I was 19 and when I was 39, 20 years apart, I had what we call a spiritual, very strongly spiritual transformative experiences. At 19, I was sitting in a bus and I experienced how like everything dissolved, and I went to that space of oneness and connection and presence that I experienced during my NDE. And at that moment, I had 2 very profound questions. I asked, when did we stop being one with the whole? And how is it possible to forget who we truly are? And then at that moment, I wasn't ready really to understand the depthness, how deep the answer of these questions was. And the being so light said to me, in 20 years, you will understand. I was so mad, like 20 years, that's like forever and a day. But yeah, without realizing it, 20 years passed. And then I had a similar experience when I was in a car. It's when I had my, what I call my big awakening. So it was like, again, like time and space had vanished for me. And when this experience in the car happened, I felt that the presence of what we call God, ultimate reality, the creator, source, was absolutely everything, guys. There was nothing that wasn't it. It was that place of, again, complete love and well-being and joy and peace. And then the 2 questions that I have asked 20 years earlier were answered. Again, when did we stop being one with the whole, and how is it possible to forget? So again, like not even time had passed, and the answer was, one never stopped being one. one never left the source. One just became distracted and seemingly forgot. Then the beings of light said to me, nothing is what it appears to be. So it's like the fish in the water. We all know this teaching, looking for the water when we are right there. And the beings of light gave me this other cute analogy. They say it's like the Alka-Seltzer. Everything seems so solid. Our narrative, our dramas, our life, everything seems so solid, like this is the end of it, or I am the one that is suffering the most, whatever it is. And it could feel really real. I'm not dismissing that, but now put the Alka-Seltzer in the water. What does it do? No matter how solid it appears, it dissolves. But this is the other beautiful thing. And this is what I experienced during my NDE and during these spiritual transformative experiences. It was the sense of nothingness, but at the same, the sense of wholeness. Because although these Alka-Seltzer dissolve and you cannot see it anymore, guess what? Now it's all dissolved in the water. So it's all there. So it's when the beings, so when I came across this beautiful quote or this from Saint-Exupéry, that he wrote The Little Prince, and the quote is, all that is essential is invisible to the eye. So this is just something really, really beautiful. And this is another question that people ask. Do I need to remember all my past lives in order to heal, in order to awaken, in order to feel that I'm put together? I mean, if you have the opportunity to go to a person to do past life regressions, to remember things from your other lives, then that's okay. I had very, very amazing and strong experiences of healing and understanding things by remembering my past lives, but not everybody has that opportunity, or it doesn't happen for everybody. And the universe is so giving that is when the beings of light share this with me. They say, look at your life now and you can know all your lives. What this means, all the experiences that you're having now, all the challenges that you're having now, your sufferings, your pains, your joys, your awareness, your state of how awakened you are, all of it is the result of all your lives. So say that again, we go back to our analogy or drawing here. You already have all these lives, and say that even in this life, like I said, our life now is again like a symbol, like a projection of all the lives. So even in this life, if you're in college, guess what? You already were a baby. You already went to daycare, kindergarten, first grade, all the grades, everything. But in college, you're not going to remember every single thing about all these grades or all these experiences. You only take the substance to move to the next one. So same thing here. Say that this life you're living now, you're this awakened being. Oh, wow. Then you're at a state of being, say, like in college. So all the substance from all your life now are in the manifested being that you are now. And people ask me, then what about karma, which is aren't we accumulating all this stuff? And then again, to me, and from all the teachings I have received, cause and effect is all contained in the now. If you're a person, if at this moment you're completely awakening the knowing that absolutely everything, all your thoughts, all your memories, all your stuff is in your head, and you realize my only true now is that I'm sitting in front of Ingrid listening to this lecture, that's all that truly is. So whatever you do now is what is going to be a result in your future. See, so it's like, to me, the actions that you take now are your next step at this moment, at this moment, at this moment. Only when we keep connected with our past in our head, then we are trapped in those memories, and we are again reenacting the same thing over and over. And that's where we get trapped in that wheel of karma, what we call karma, which in reality is just cause and effect. Everything we do, then we will be trapped or in memories or in new creations. But how long will it take to remember? When am I going to just truly remember who am I, that connection? And the answer is, who has the agenda? Nobody's forcing us. We are the ones that have to have that big desire, that desire to know. So, and in the experiences I have had and the memories I have had of me being in other lives and humans and as spirit, I can remember when I was between lives. And sometimes we can take long periods of time to go back to experience another human experience, because say that there was a life in which we had a lot of suffering. So we make the decision to kind of take a long vacation. And okay, now I'm ready again to just go back and experience new things. And it's not like we're being punished. Say like you were in first grade and you never really learned how to read. And maybe in that life you missed the opportunity, but after you have a long period of rest, or depending of how your life experience is, you'll be like, you know what? I want to go back and do that reading thing that I never learned. See, so no one is punishing us, nobody's judging us. We're making these decisions for our own growth. So here's that. I love this quote from Nisargadatta Maharaj that says, failure and success are the very fabric of life. Learn from both and go beyond. If you have not learned, you will repeat. So it's that we have our own realization. I didn't learn. I want to learn. So again, we and there's the other thing. I teach a complete other lecture about the afterlife and how things happen out there. But just to put it clear, like I was mentioning before, the human experience is the one that brings the most contrast. So when we are in other states of being, there is not that much contrast for us to be able to be shaken hard and wake up faster. Doesn't mean that we don't evolve. We evolve as in all levels of being, but the physical reality is the one that is going to shake us pretty hard. Or it doesn't have to be hard. It just offers most contrast. We'll talk more about that. This is the other thing I realized with all these teachings, and it was that nothing in the universe lacks purpose. So every time a challenge presents in our path, or a new adversity, or a new opportunity, or a new obstacle, or whatever it is, a new experience, everything is knocking our door for us to, again, go back to the place, what else? Where do I look? Move out of the place where you are at that moment. And in the case of my near-death experience, when I asked why my near-death experience happened when I was so young, why this had to happen when I was just a little child, the answer was because I wasn't, or you, me as Ingrid, the answer was that I was old enough to remember, but young enough not to be conditioned yet. So that was very important right there, not to have that much conditioning. And yes, I was young enough to be pure and innocent, but old enough to never forget who I truly was at the core of my being in this life experience as Ingrid. And then we go, how do we go back home? Because there was a moment in which when I had my near death that I thought I had gone somewhere else. And there was moments in my life that I didn't want to be here. It was the sense I want to go back there. And it's when I had, oh my God, this incredible analogy, this other teaching that came from the beings of light. And they show me like an amusement park and say that you are in Disney, and then you are in this virtual reality and you put these goggles on and you just go and experience the ups and downs, the lefts and rights, light, and even feeling dizzy and joyful, all this stuff. And the moment you remove your goggles, you realize that you never went ever anywhere, that you always been there. And that's why this whole experience is called the journey with no destination. We always have been there, and we always have been that. And that's why, and this teaching I started to receive since I was very little, home is not a place. It is a state of being. And feeling that sense of inner peace, openness, calmness, and all those pointers the beings of light were showing me was like, yes, I don't need to go anywhere. All that is within, and is what Jesus called the kingdom of heaven. The kingdom of heaven is not a place, it's a state. It is within ourselves. And this goes beautiful with this quote that says, I am the light in which all dreams appear and disappear. See, always there. That is the impermanence of the outer reality. And the day we realize that the dream is just a dream, it is not needed anymore. So it just simply dissolves. And yes, when there is not a story, there is no time. When it is that state of starting to feel freedom, we free ourselves from all those past memories, from all those attachments, and you just feel even the freedom from the constraint of time. And the more we just little by little, like we're doing in this meeting now, little by little, we water our seed of consciousness, like, what is it that I am? What am I doing? The more we start like giving a little nectar of wisdom to our soul, little by little by little. I brought here the good ground. We're going to start putting together that good ground for the seed to finally produce, to the seed to just come out and have this just become this beautiful plant. And this quote here from Sri Nisargadatta Maharaj is, the seed of a spiritual life grows in silence and in darkness until its appointed hour. So awakening is not something I can say, I'm going to awaken tomorrow. You cannot call it, it happens to you. Same thing with the seed. Once the ground is ready, the plant will come out. It will happen to you when you are ready. So that's the other thing. People sometimes get scared, or if I talk, I say I experience the state of nothingness or the state of oneness. They are afraid, but will I lose my identity? Will I not be this? Or I said, don't worry, when you're ready, you will know, because all those fears will be gone. It will happen to you. And then what is the purpose of our uniqueness? Why are we unique? Why we come from this oneness thing? What is this uniqueness for? And this is the other beautiful thing with this analogy, and say that you have the source, the light of consciousness, and you have each one of these rays, and each one of these is each one of us here. And then just imagine that there's another beautiful analogy that is like a disco ball. So imagine each ray of light going in every different direction. So the way that each one perceives reality is going to be completely different to each one of us, because it is a different angle. wow, we're all perceiving a little piece that the other one is not. So we are here to show each other the full picture. And this is so beautiful because that's where that place of connection becomes so important. And I love these that I wrote here. It says, your uniqueness completes my broken puzzle. The more we all start connecting, the more we realize, wow, we are like the universal tapestry. Each one of us is one thread in that tapestry. What happens if you pull a string? There will be a gap there. Something will be missing, or the puzzle of the universal puzzle. What happens if there's a missing piece? It's not completed. Each one of us have to be there to just understand and be part of that totality. I love the example of the fingers and the hand. Each finger is completely different. But what happens if I cut this finger off? What can it do by itself? Nothing. At the moment you put them to work all together, oh my God, they become so powerful. And guess what? Each finger is unique, but they are attached to the same hand in unity and in oneness. Wow, that's powerful. And imagine one hand, all it can do. Imagine if I join with another one. Now we're working in community, and communities that work together are very powerful. You guys know that. Otherwise, we create war and destruction and division and suffering. And I really, really love this teaching that I received when this is a Zen teaching, and I remember it since I was very young, that says, when you think that you are too much, so when we become arrogant, remember that you are but a speck of dust in the universe. But when you think that you are nothing, when we're just in that state of not valuing ourselves, remember that you are as whole as the universe. So see, we go back to that place of balance. And guys, you didn't come here to be normal. You didn't come here to be normal. You came here to be you. You're exceptional you. Oh, the way you perceive the world, like I just showed in that little cartoon, is unique to you. No one in the history of humanity will be like you, because the way you perceive reality is unique to you. Oh, that's so cool. And what are the benefits of waking up? Why do we want to do that? Oh my gosh, I cannot even, I will be here forever, because guess what? When we go back to that place of balance, oh gosh, we calm our mind, we become healthier, we become in connection with nature, we can really enjoy that nature, we can be in connection with our families, our friends, we can become better listeners, we can become better observers, we learn to see, we become free, expanded, more creative, more intuitive, we learn to make the right choices, we become more intelligent, more efficient, we become wise, and we feel that sense of inner power. Nothing is impossible. We become better givers and lovers, and then we learn to be team players, and now we go to that place of joy, to that place of connection and seeing and accepting the uniqueness in everyone. We become happy. So I don't know how many more perks I can share here to make you just all understand. Waking up is a good thing, guys. It's awesome. And then when we wake up also, we start seeing our challenges not as problems, but as opportunities. We start seeing our challenges with the eyes of wisdom. They don't become problems. They don't become sufferings. They're just like, wow, they become gifts, because thanks to this, Look, maybe at the very moment that is happening, we cannot see it, but the more we awaken, the more aware we become, we realize, oh, what is this here? We start asking those questions. What is all this for? What is the purpose behind this challenge that is in, or this adversity that is in my life? So we learn to surf the waves, because waves are always going to happen in the ocean. Challenges are always going to come, but it is the way that we face the challenge. Or we drown in it, or we learn to surf it. And guess what, guys? Once at home, once we go back to that place of balance and joy and wow, and learn to be connected with ourselves and others, then we can teach others the way back home. We help align and tune each other. And we can do this one person at a time, starting with ourselves. And this is another amazing teaching. The beings of light said to me, do not be concerned with what others do. Not because you don't care, but because you care so much that you fix yourself first. And it comes that beautiful saying from Mahatma Gandhi that says, be the change you want to see in the world. Be the peace you want to see in the world, the love. And look at this beautiful quote, be the reason someone smiles, be the reason someone feels loved and believes in the goodness in people. And when we'll be ready to serve, this will happen, guys. When the fear is gone, when that inner connection happens, you will feel that you're ready to share your story with the world. At the beginning, like it will be with you, and it will be with the people immediately right around you. But like it happened in my case, I was in Costa Rica and I was trapped by some waves, and I was being thrown by the waves and hit by these waves. And at that moment, I was close to drown again. And I was saved and taken out of the water. And when I was standing at the edge of the water, I realized that throughout that whole experience, I never felt fear. And now looking at the waves in the horizon, I said, no matter the size of the wave, I'm ready to surf. So we just have to, the things will happen when we're ready for them. The fear will be gone, and we will feel that sense of readiness. And when I asked about purpose and mission, the beings of light said to me, Ingrid, like for all of us, your purpose is to be the light, and your mission is to shine it. Just be that. Each awakened being serves as the light in the awakening of hundreds more. So just be that light. And in this beautiful picture here is the Buddha, and he's sharing his light, and look at how it just multiplies into like thousands. And he says, happiness never decreases from being shared. And guess what? If each one of us is that light and we all join together, wow, we can become a big flame. And a little candle by itself, it can flicker with the wind, but a big flame, you cannot just put it off that easy. So this is the work we're doing when we're all together. But we also have to learn to calm the mind. The beings of light said all power comes from the place of silence. That's the way how we can learn to connect within and connect with all this beautiful world around us. Leo Tolstoy said, if then we were asked for the most important advice I could give, that which I consider to be the most useful to men, to the men of our century, I should simply say, in the name of God, stop for a moment. Cease your work and look around. And I will add, look within. All of humanity's problems stem from man's inability to sit quietly in a room alone. And I love this from Wayne Dyer that says, we are human beings, not human doings. And we're close to finish here with this beautiful phrase that brings us to remember that you are the light of consciousness. The I am that I am. That presence, that light of consciousness, that love, that joy. And I just love these words from Jesus. He said, before Abraham was, I am. He didn't say before Abraham was, I was. I am the eternal presence. Guys, the I am is the witness of consciousness. Keep your attention focused on the I am, and you will not lose the way. And this quote from Marcus Aurelius that says, humans have come into being for the sake of each other. So teach them or learn to bear them. And how we teach love? How we teach love? How we teach the joy and peace and calmness? Teach by example. Teach by being that love, by being that peace, by being that joy. Be and you cannot be wrong. So I invite you to be the light. And I chose the bees. Why? Because they work in community. So they are amazing. They work together. And they just build incredible things and produce, imagine, the most amazing nectar, the honey, by working together. And this is just, if you want to learn everything else about me, there is my website.